Have you ever been out running or hiking or doing just about anything and you can't have your earbuds in your ears because you can't hear what's going on around you, or you do have your headphones on or something but it just kind of hurts? Well, today I have a solution for you. Today we're going to be looking at another bunny review. I don't know how many times that I have been doing something outside, like hiking, running, walking, doing pretty much anything, and I need to be able to hear what's going on around me. Especially when traveling solo, I've come to realize that the sounds of the world are the warning sounds for me not having issues. Yeah, you need to be listening. So, one of the things that I've found is while I'm traveling, I don't like to necessarily always have a speaker with me if I need music to keep me going, because then everybody has to listen to my music. So unless I'm with friends, it's usually not a good alternative. But headphones block my entire hearing. Earbuds do that, and then they hurt my ears over time. So up until now, I haven't had any suggestion of a solution. But then came Aftershokz. So a couple of weeks ago, I received a package and I did my full unboxing, and I want you guys to see exactly what I received. So here it is. I am always looking for the newest in technology so I can take it along with me and have something really cool and really efficient. I got him. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I put in for these last week on Wednesday. It's now Monday, and the package arrived. It was shipped USPS and it arrived at my doorstep earlier today. I was able to track the entire thing because guess what? They send you tracking notifications. Awesome! But let's check these out a little bit more. These are the Aftershokz Trekz titanium wireless headphones. At them. Let's go play with them. See what we think. Now, if you're like me, getting a package in the mail is awesome and it makes you feel like Christmas every single day of the year. So immediately I started getting these out, trying to use them, see what I thought about them, and decided that I wanted to provide some feedback as to my real life account of the Trekz titanium Aftershokz. There's a few things that I love about these. There's also a few things that I don't necessarily love, but they aren't deal breakers. So let's go over all that. Now, as a travel blogger, a lot of times I'm out and about in places that I can't have my ears impaired. So that was a major thing for me. I'm also pretty active, so it has to be something that secures to my head so I don't have to sit there and be adjusting it and things like that. So one of the things that I liked about these was they do secure independent of cords. Whenever I pulled them out of the little bag, the only thing that was in the bag other than these actually was the little charger cord right here. So you can see there's nothing that's going to limit them from being able to move everywhere that I move, which is pretty cool. The next thing that I noticed was the instructions seemed, in theory, pretty simple. You simply plug your little charger cord into a typical iPhone charger or pretty much anything that has one of those little cubes. Hold up right there. Yeah, I forgot something. The cord, the bag, there was no cube. Where's the cube? There was no cube. So I had to find my own. And then you plug them in right here. There's a little port that pops up right there, and they go right there. So after you've plugged those in, they have to sit and wait, and there's a little blinking light that blinks on them to tell you whenever they're ready. The first time that I plugged them in to charge, they were completely dead. There was no charge whatsoever on them. Naturally, that was a bit discouraging. charger and I left them overnight. There was no immediate use with this product. I couldn't just turn around and put it on and get to knowing if I love it or not. Instead, I had to wait, and well, I'm not very patient. So after they'd sat on the charger overnight, the light finally turned the correct color and I could use them. I was really, really excited then. So the next step was figuring out how to use them. It didn't seem too hard. All you do is, there's two little buttons right here, a plus and a minus. You hold down the plus and that turns it on. You then have this little blue light that alternates blue and red until you have properly connected to your Bluetooth device. You can connect to anything that has Bluetooth and will play music, but for me, that meant my iPhone. Connecting was pretty simple. All I did was go into my settings of my iPhone, go to the Bluetooth, and find the Aftershokz Trekz Titanium on my list. It only took about 20 seconds once I had charge. Then it was go time. That's right, we put them on, we tuned into some jams, and we got to moving. Putting them on is pretty simple. You just kind of push them down around the ears like so, and that's it, right there. Woo! They're really comfortable. I'm really excited about how comfortable they are actually, and with the exception of whenever I'm doing more high intensity running and things like that, I've noticed that they stay in place and don't wiggle around. Now they are one size fits all. So with that being said, I have kind of a small head, and you can see that that means that's a little bit loose in the back. When I started to run with them, I noticed that it was a little bit loose in the back because it started to kind of bounce a little bit more. I think that if I were running in a beanie or potentially a headband or something like that, that would help. But because I don't have anything to secure it to in the back and my head is kind of small, this happened a little bit. Now, I didn't know how high the volume needed to be, so I started off kind of low. And I did notice that the bass sounds you don't hear a lot of when you do that. So I turned it up just a little bit. And each time I did the snap test. I noticed that as I turned up the volume and got more of the clarity of the sound of the bass tones, I also lost some of the hearing around me, which is the whole point of the headphones. So I don't know necessarily if that's a great thing, depending on if you're in a noisy environment or you're wanting to hear more of your jams or you're trying to have more peace. I guess you can adjust them accordingly, but I did notice that the clarity of sound at the lower volumes was not all I wanted it to be and more. So now it's time for my final thoughts about the Trekz Titanium wireless headphones. How do they add up? What do I think? And what would I say is their overall rating? Well, this wasn't something I took lightly at all. In fact, it was kind of hard to rate them because where there's so many good features, there's a few features that I think would be great building blocks for the future of improvement. So as a whole, I would give them a 4. Now, why a 4? That's probably what you're asking. Well, there's a few simple reasons for the 4. When it comes to overall innovation, these things are a 5 by far. I love the fact that they've addressed most of my concerns as an active person. I like to know that someone's thinking of the same things that I'm thinking of in regards to my personal safety. Definitely a 5. Not to mention, whenever I'm wearing them, I feel like I can definitely feel the music around me. It's like the music is in me and around me at the same time without making my ears hurt or without taking away the sounds around me. With that being said, innovation is a 5, but execution is about a 3 when it comes to the higher volumes. At the lower volumes, execution is a 5. They totally master the concept. Everything about them is exactly what I need. But once I get into those tunes that have a lot more bass in them and really wanting to have that clarity of sound, then that's where the execution starts to fall off a little bit. I can hear right here the sound perfectly. But to feel and be in that moment with that bass, I have to crank it up. And when I crank it up, the more I crank it up, the less I can hear around me. And an unfortunate byproduct that I didn't notice until I was really testing these a lot was the more I crank them up, the more other people can hear them too. Oops. Now, the comfortability, I would also give a 5. Super comfortable. Like, wasn't expecting that kind of comfortable. In fact, one of the things that I noticed before whenever I was trying them out was the one size fits all, and I thought that might be a negative, but the more that I looked at it with different hats and different things that I might wear in my active lifestyle, I noticed that that one size fits all and that little extra bit in the back didn't bother me at all. I wear a lot of beanies like this one, and because the one size fits all technology was a little loose on my smaller head, I can actually wear a full beanie and not have to worry about it having to be squeezed under or fitting something around it. They fit perfect. Comfortable, perfect, and by far a 5. Last but not least, versatility. Versatility is a big one for me because I do a lot of different things. Now, I've seen several people talk about how they incorporated these into their running, how they needed something that was wireless because they wear them whenever they're working with their hands, or how they like something that they can drive with that's legal to drive with. I do all of those things. So whenever I was trying them out, I made sure that I tried them out in every environment. That means I wore them hiking. That means I wore them doing my day-to-day routine, shopping at the grocery store. I even tried them whenever I was working at Starbucks just to see how they would work when I was sitting in close proximity to other people. And they were great. Now, I didn't notice any kind of issues with the functionality, and I was able to use them in every possible scenario that I had. The life of the battery is about 6 hours, which is great for what I'm doing. The only thing I can think of that might not work out for me doing is if I have super long flights, which I don't really take a lot of those, so it doesn't really matter. And after the initial first charge, which was really stressful for me, charging only takes about an hour and a half now. Great. So as you can see, this was not an easy determination of a rating. There were a lot of factors that factored into my decision to give them a 4. Now, I think that there's plenty of room for improvement with any company, and I look forward to seeing the progress as these continue to grow and accelerate into the next level of headphones. For now, though, I kind of really appreciate the battery life, the comfort, the overall versatility, and of course, the colors. That's right, the colors. Fashion is a big thing for some people, and I like the fact that they don't just provide one color, they have all of these colors to choose from. That gives me a lot of variety in my life, which is awesome. And I think that's just one of the other parts that's attention to detail exhibited by this company. Again, the reason they got a 4. So in conclusion, I had to ask myself the same question most people ask themselves. How does it look when I wear it on Snapchat?
I think they look fabulous.
Until next time, everybody, I hope you enjoyed this exciting review of the Aftershokz Trekz Titanium wireless headphones. I love to provide good feedback for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed as well. So if you have enjoyed today's video, make sure you hit that little like button. You can also subscribe and ring the little bell so you get notified on any of my future blogs, not just about product reviews, but also about travel related fun that you can enjoy with me. I enjoy every time we go on an adventure together. This is not one of those exceptions. See you guys next time. Bye.